We all know about Scottie Pippen, the Hall of Famer who won 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan back in the day. Scottie Pippen had one of the best NBA careers and will be remembered in the Hall of Fame, but what a lot of people don't know is that he actually has a son that's playing right now in the NBA Summer League who went undrafted and is turning a lot of heads and proving people wrong. In today's video, we're going to talk about Scottie Pippen Jr. and what he has been doing in the Summer League and doing to dominate defenders. But real quick, before we get onto the video, we just hit 7,400 subscribers, so I can't thank you guys enough. So make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell to stay updated on the NBA and NBA free agency. And with all that being said, let's get straight into the video. Scottie Pippen Jr. was a standout in high school who, again, just like any other former NBA player's son, had a lot of hype in high school and a lot of fans, so he had everybody watching him, but he played up to that expectations and ultimately ended up playing college ball at Vanderbilt, where he played 3 seasons. In his last season before declaring for the NBA draft, he had 20 points, 4.5 assists per game, along with 2 steals, and alongside with 3.6 rebounds per game. Scottie Pippen Jr. was a true scorer in college, where he shot 32.5% from the three-point land and shot 41.6% from the field in his final season. Pippen Jr., who is a point guard, 6'1" and 170 pounds, was below the radar as a NBA draft prospect despite having a famous name. Now, he is a crafty little guard who plays under great control, and a lot of people compared him to Fred VanVleet coming into the league. He's got a low center of gravity and he has a lot of strength. Scottie orchestrates the offense well and is like a coach on the floor, and it's obvious that he's been around the game for a while. I mean, having a dad like Scottie Pippen has to be one of the best things, because you're getting advice from an NBA Hall of Famer, but it did put a lot of pressure on him as a kid. Obviously, Scottie Pippen Jr., being only 6'1", has to make up for his height in other ways. In his 3 seasons with Vanderbilt, he proved that he is an excellent shooter from deep and can score off the dribble. He also showed that he can generate fouls with ease, and he showed his point guard playmaking ability, getting to the paint and dropping it off and getting those dimes that any point guard who's 6'1" and below needs to have. He is an above average athlete and can surprise you with his sneaky bounce. Obviously, his draft report coming into the draft was that Pippen is a skilled combo guard that can shoot and score the basketball, and he is quite adept at racking up steals. He took on a much greater role in offense in the past 2 seasons with Vanderbilt, and he put up solid numbers. His team did struggle in the conference play, but a lot of people projected Scottie Pippen Jr. to go in the second round for the 2022 draft, but he ultimately ended up going undrafted and signed a 2-way contract with the LA Lakers. In the Summer League with the Lakers so far, Pippen Jr. has had to adapt to a new role as a true playmaker and not look to score himself, as in college he was a score first kind of guy, and he was a scorer in college, but in these past few Summer League games he's shown that he's a true playmaker and can get open looks for his teammates, as in his first 2 Summer League games, here are his stats. In his first game, he had 19 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and shot 6 for 14 from the field. Obviously, this was his second ever Summer League game, so he's just getting warmed up and used to everything, as he shot 1 for 5 from the three-point land. But just yesterday against the Charlotte Hornets, he had another amazing game. Although his stats might not show it, if you were watching this game live, the poise he was playing with and the amount of confidence this young man has, it's pretty impressive. He had 10 points, 7 assists, and 2 rebounds, and shot 4 for 15 from the field. Now, don't judge this by stats. You guys have to watch the games live. He's setting up his teammates and getting them wide open looks. Like, if you guys are watching the highlights right now, it's clear to tell if you're a true basketball fan that he has so much potential as a playmaker in the league, and a lot of people don't like to talk about his defensiveness, but this man on defense has been an absolute pest in college, and he has shown flashes of it in the Summer League. I watched the Hornets vs Lakers Summer League game yesterday, and the amount of times that Scottie Pippen got in or around the paint area was pretty impressive. He was getting by his defenders at ease, and he orchestrated the pick and roll with such calmness, and he doesn't really rush a lot of things. He'll get to his spots in the paint, do a pump fake, pass it off to the center, and just get easy dimes like that. He'll make the right dishes, and his passing ability is just an underrated thing right now, but a lot of people are going to really find out about who Scottie Pippen Jr. was is in the upcoming future. Obviously, I talked about his defense a little bit in college. He was a defensive, somebody who you could rely on defensive wise. There was an interview where Scottie Pippen wanted his son to, press up more in college on the defensive end, but Scottie can really be somebody in the league like a backup point guard for Russell Westbrook on the Lakers team, and I'm surprised that Scottie Pippen Jr. was never drafted. That's really odd to me because I really thought that Pippen Jr. had the tools to be a successful point guard in the league. Maybe not a starter, but as a backup. I mean, look at Fred VanVleet. They have a really similar role. I mean, especially if Scottie Pippen Jr. can get his jump shot rolling in the next couple of games in the summer league. That's a real comparison. Pippen Jr. is currently on a two-way contract with the Lakers, and I fully expect him to first play a full year in the G League. He might get a few call-up games to the NBA. I mean, who knows, if he really impresses, he could get a full contract as a real player, as a full-time on the NBA roster, but it's hard to say right now. But for the play that Pippen Jr. has been performing, he's showing his real skills and proving why he deserved to be ultimately drafted in this year's draft. But he did end up going undrafted, but I'm happy for the kid. He's showing out in the summer league. The only thing that I think that he has to get going right now is his shot, but that's going to come to him naturally because he is a true scorer at heart, in my opinion, watching him all throughout college. But the good thing about him is that he's willing to play defense, and his playmaking ability has been phenomenal in the summer league so far. But let me know in the comments section your thoughts and opinions on Scottie Pippen Jr. Obviously, his play has really impressed me throughout the summer league so far. So what are your thoughts and opinions on him? Do you guys believe that he'll ultimately end up being on the Lakers roster as the backup point guard, or do you guys think he's going to spend a year in the G League? Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell so you stay updated on the NBA and NBA free agency. Obviously, we're all anxious to see where Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will go, so to stay updated, turn on the bell because you don't want to miss another video. We just hit 7,400 subscribers, and I honestly can't thank you guys enough. Obviously, I did take a little bit of a hiatus break for about a month, but trust me, we're back. You guys see the consistency. We're pulling these videos out, so for that, thank you guys, and with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.